a scion of many worlds. Well, I'm sure the Council of Bright Dawn will be thrilled to see me again after so short a time. Emmanuel notes to himself as he plots out things. But first, something a little more important. Oh? Such as what? Are you going to do a quick challenge to all Fierce Feather tribes simultaneously? A casual 50-on-1 with all their champions? Zavaya asks. Not a bad idea, but I was thinking something even easier, Emmanuel says before there's a twist of axiom, and suddenly there's a crown in his claws. A familiar one. Now? Zavaya asks. But you said, until you were ready, you've been healed, you've taken a good, long, hard look outside of where you were meant to see, and you've seen the true face of many of your supporters. Can you even imagine acting the way you did when we first met? Or worse, when I took that fort not so long ago. But you said there's still so much to do. And I've gotten it all started. You just need to keep it up, he says as he kneels down to her level and places it on her head. Now the question is, will you? You're just giving it back? She asks as she actually takes off the crown and holds it in her hands as if not quite believing it. I said I would, didn't I? But just like that? Yes. The ones that would have pulled your strings are either disposed of or you have been shown their true faces. The pointless conflicts Miru was wrapped in have been stopped. Your eyes are open to a greater truth. You are stronger and wiser than before. There is greater peace on Lakron as such has never been known before. If not now, then when? He asks her and she gapes at him. But what are your plans? He asks her and she's cut off from whatever she was thinking about. My plans? What do you plan for Miru? Will you strip away the powers and rights of the Dark Arumenta once more? Will you reinstate the old Church of Light? Will you send troops to the border of Greenstone and break the trade agreement with the Goldlands? But that's stupid, she protests. Yes, it is, he says, and she stares at him. But am I ready? Is there anyone else? He returns. There are old divisions, and as an outsider looking in, I have no doubt that they are bitter, even if I cannot see or taste the bitterness myself. This cannot be washed away from the outside, not easily, but you back on the throne will appease the light Arumenta. Sitting with a council of the other elements will appease them. Doing so with my blessing will appease those that support me without thinking. Zavaya begins as she turns the crown over. Emmanuel never put much thought into its composition. Metal and minerals, too soft for armor, too weak for a weapon and useful only as a symbol of office. He just wanted things calmed while he went to work. It's a bandana of gold and soft padded silk on the inside for comfort. There are 3 sets of 3 spikes on the front that angle upwards more akin to dagger blades. Each one has 2 jewels embedded at the base, a diamond and onyx at the center, a ruby and a pearl to the left side, a piece of jade and a tiger's eye. It's designed to be worn with the hair going through it, with a clear front being the middle of the forest of spears and the gap in the back for the hair. The bandana itself has a series of ovals worked along its sides between the trinities of spikes that catch the light and glimmer and glint beautifully. I must say, I'm looking forward to not having it jab me in the head anymore. Emmanuel jokes and she gives him an odd look. Well, maybe if you didn't try putting it on upside down to run down an antenna, it wouldn't fall on you like a swarm of arrows. She chides him. But that's half the fun. I'm too powerful to move off anywhere I want to be, but too goofy to actually put it on right, he says with a laugh, and she gives him an unimpressed look, which diminishes the power of this crown. Actually, it more diminishes the power of unnecessary ceremony. You can get a lot more done if you disregard some things. And a lot of ceremony exists for a reason. I admit I hadn't been taught anywhere near what I should have been taught before I lost my mother and Miru lost its last true queen. but I was taught the history of my people," she says before holding up the crown for him to inspect. "Look at those stones. The 6 peoples of Meru paired together, illuminating light and mysterious darkness, passionate fire and serene water, stoic earth and whimsical wind. Before the recent troubles, we held nothing so high as each other. We were truly unified, as these stones are held at equal heights, a deal that each of the 6 types of people would work together." "A deal that was broken," Emmanuel says solemnly. "Yes," Zavia says, holding the crown down to her level again. "You're an Earthany. The broken promise of this crown. It was never something about you, but, Emmanuel asks. "My grandmother had another crown commission, one where the diamond, the stone of light, was held higher, above all others. It was stolen before it could ever be worn. An enormous embarrassment to my family, and it was the event that set in motion the expulsion of the dark Irumenta from the nobility and the empowerment of the Church of Light. So you have a lot of work to do." Emmanuel notes, and she looks up at him again and just stares at him eye to eye for a time. She then puts the crown back on and pulls her glowing hair through the top. It fits perfectly. "Yes, I do," she says, and he smiles. "I'm proud of you," he says, and she looks away, fiddling with her hair a little until a few locks fall between the spikes to help frame her face more. Can I count on you?" "Of course. I'm returning the crown, not casting you out. I told you I was adopting you. I'm sticking to it. You are my daughter. I will always be ready to guide and guard you, as is a father's duty," he says before chuckling. "Of course, with the upcoming ceremony with Isereisen, it means that you're going to have every Lochran-born Nagasha as a stepsister. Think you can go from a tiny little family into an entire demographic for siblings. Wait. That means the moment the ceremony is over, literally every serpent on this world is bound to Meru, and Meru bound to them through you. Do you do this on purpose, or does life just hand it to you?" "A bit of both. I just know to keep my eyes open for opportunities, and they keep showing up," he says. "You'll notice them for yourself as well. Reality shifts and twists, and there's plenty of things you can pluck out of it for your advantage. You just need to spot it, then grab it. You know, I was hoping to be done with you for a bit. You showing up means something is happening." Boyle Coyle notes, and Emmanuel shrugs. He'd gotten lucky and had caught all 3 women discussing the affairs of the realm on a ship that had a perfect view of the recently erected portal. They were also taking notes on who was using it the most and to do what. "We've recently had a little revelation on how to really help Lacron. Put all the attention on 2 people that everyone will be too afraid to do anything stupid to. But for that, we need every nation to agree to swear an oath of loyalty and officially unify the planet." "Oh, so you're officially conquering the planet then? What does this mean to us? And you said 2 people. Is it the Serpent Empress, the Snake Queen, Miss Mother of a quarter of the planet?" Helen asks, as she looks up from her viewing chair. She has a bottle of something in her hand. The local equivalent of rum, no doubt, although it's weak enough that a human child could likely pound it back without issue, provided they could pry it out from her fingers. "And she's planning to make it mother of the whole planet, from what I understand," Emmanuel states. "Fine, but what do we get out of it, and what's the price?" Gertie asks, even as she tosses a bottle at him. He chuckles. "It's refreshing to make a simple deal. Protection. Follow some basic laws. Let me recruit from among your people, and you get protection and all the benefits of free and open trade the world over, and potentially outside Lochran if you're able to score a contract that way. I'll make sure they don't cheat you, or you get a chunk out of them if they do. And if they accuse us of misbehavior," Helen asks, turning fully to face him, "I'll do all in my power for you to be tried at local courts. However, there are certain levels of crime I can't protect from. Not that I think you'll be able to commit such deeds for a very long time. But if you go around and start killing dozens, I'm going to come down on that myself and not protect you from the fallout. I'll be racing it to get first blood. There's the teeth, Boyle Coyle says before snorting in amusement. So, will these outside traders include weapons? Those are available now from the Undaunted if you want them so badly. Every single Undaunted soldier goes through weapon smithing lessons. If you really want a shiny new laser weapon, just ask for a price and you'll get an answer. And that other stuff? Plasma? Same story. And the stuff humans use? That's just more advanced gunpowder. You've already seen it. But if I want it, I can get it now? Yes. He answers, and there is a big smile from the snake woman. Well, that's my agreement. Anything else? Boyle Coyle asks. In a short while, there will be a ceremony. It will be broadcast out for the entire galaxy to see. It will be to unify Lacran through my marriage to Izarizen. All of it official. Bright Dawn will have a part, one where you swear an oath and have one sworn back in return. Is this acceptable? Will you be there? More profit, more markets, protection and trade. That's about as thorough a reason as I need, Gertie says. Agreed. Is it just one of us, or will all three be part of this? Helen says. That's for you to decide. Unless you're seriously pissing in another nation's business, I'm going to be hands-off as a ruler. My main concern will be protection, so you'll likely see me when I'm recruiting or running drills nearby more than anything else. Hands-off? Oh, do we have a level of trust already, Big Daddy? Is it going to be sleepovers and parties? Boyle Coyle mocks him. You're big girls. You've already proven you can take care of yourselves. I'm just in this so that the things you don't know don't sneak up behind you with a hammer and crack your heads open so they can go through your pockets. And I'm sure you'll be very good at that, Mr. Fuzzy. Anything else? Boyle Coyle asks as her hand twitches near her pistol. Go ahead. We both know you want to take the shot. I can take... is as far as Emmanuel gets before Boyle Coyle's self-restraint vanishes, and a laser beam is cooking the tiny amount of dust between his eyes and kicking up smoke. The beam is maintained as he starts mussing up the fur there to brush out the burning debris. That's one way to get dirt off. The beam stops and Boyle Coyle takes aim again. This time it lances into the bottle that was tossed at him, and it explodes in a blast of steam that gets a scream from the deckhands and a furious glare from Gertie. Neat! So this at least can't hurt you, not anymore. Boyle Coyle says eagerly. No, it can't. Wait. You emphasize that word oddly. Oh, don't you recognize it? There used to be a lovely black spot in your fur thanks to this little toy. It took a lot of doing to get it. Something that could shoot down the deadly moth. Then you went and made yourself immune to it. Boyle Coyle says, I burned through favors and fortune for this. Now I'm going to get a collection of them for a song by compare. If I had told you not to, you would have spent even more to get it faster, Emmanuel says, and she chuckles. Oh, probably. You scared the hell out of us when you first showed up. Demolished the riots, got your girls out alive, did something strange, and then came out stronger. Only thing that slowed you down was a shot in the gut with this, and it only stuck for a bit. Now the shot won't work even a bit. Oh, just ask him already, Gertie tells her. Boyle Coyle, Helen says in a tart tone. Is the Empress Izarizen? Is she angry? Why don't we ask her? Emmanuel asks, pulling out a communicator. Do you want to talk with her? She takes the device and, at his direction, speed dials Izarizen's number.